Lisa. Good morning, Rebecca. And good morning, Joey. Dina's making a little noise in the background.
Good morning, y'all.
She said good morning to y'all. She's making homemade English muffins and vegetable broth. I got up. I didn't even know she was not in bed.
I just stand up every time I got to take my medication.
Yeah, she gets up to take her medication and has stayed up. So welcome in. This morning is October the 20th of 2024. Happy birthday to my little sister. She
Good
turns
morning. Happy birthday.
54 years old today. If she sees this, then she'll know I remembered. And we're in Proverbs 20 to sync up with the day of the month of November, October. I keep wanting to say November, Rebecca. I'm sorry. You got to keep me straight. So October the 20th, 2024, chapter 20 of Proverbs. Let's get started, y'all. Wine is a mocker. Strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. And there's a note on verse 1. It says, wine and strong drink are personified as troublemakers, a mocker, scoffer, already mentioned in chapter 19, 25, and 29, and a brawler. Such beverages cloud one's thinking and judgment, hampering the ability to make wise decisions. And then we jump back to verse 2. The wrath of a king is like roaring of a lion. Whoever provokes him to anger sins against his own life. Verse 3, it is honorable for a man to stop striving, since any fool can start a quarrel. The lazy man will not plow because of winter. He will beg during harvest and have nothing. Counsel is in the heart of man. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Most men will proclaim each his own goodness. Sorry, my sinuses are terrible this morning. But let me start again. Verse 6. Most men will proclaim each his own goodness. But who can find a faithful man? Verse 7. The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. And then there's a note on verse 7. One of the greatest gifts parents can give their children is a name that they will be proud of, because their parents have lived with integrity. It is very true. Verse 8. A king who sits on the throne of judgment scatters all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean, I am pure from my sin? Diverse weights and diverse measures, they are both alike an abomination to the Lord. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether what he does is pure and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both. Do not love sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you will be satisfied with bread. It is good for nothing, cries the buyer, but when he has gone his way, then he boasts. That's a very deceptive way. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Verse 16. Take the garment of one who is surety for a stranger and hold it as a pledge when it is for a seductress. taking on the financial obligations of a stranger, a mere acquaintance, is not wise. Thus, the recommendations to require some collateral, such as a garment or some other pledge, so that the one guaranteeing the loan will repay. Then we're back on verse 17. Bread gained by deceit is sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth will be filled with gravel. Plans are established by counsel, by wise counsel wage war. He who goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with one who flatters with his lips. Verse 20. Chapter 20, verse 20, on the 20th of October. Whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp will be put out in deep darkness. The note says, although the primary message in this proverb is that children are not to curse or invoke evil on their parents. You can see that again in Exodus 21, verse 17. It also carries the idea of not speaking harmfully of them. The warning is that such speech harms the speaker most. God will take note and punish the offender. And also look in Matthew 15:4. All right, back up to verse 21. An inheritance gained hastily at the beginning will not be blessed at the end. Do not say, I will recompense evil. Wait for the Lord, and he will save you. Diverse weights are an abomination to the Lord, and dishonest scales are not good. A man's steps are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? Verse 25. It is a snare for a man to devote rashly something as holy, and afterward to reconsider his vows. Making a vow rashly can get someone in as much trouble as if he or she stepped into an animal trap or a snare. So people should be careful about making promises without thinking them through. Deuteronomy 23:21 through 23, and Ecclesiastes 5:4-5. Getting into something is much easier than getting out of it. Boy, ain't that the truth. Getting into something is much easier than getting out of it. Yeah, I can fall into trouble backwards. Spend the rest of my life trying to get out of it, right? All right, verse 26. A wise king sifts out the wicked and brings the threshing wheel over them. Verse 27 has a note. The spirit of a man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all the inner depths of his heart. And then the note on verse 27 says, spirit is literally breath, that which was breathed into the first human being, Genesis 2:7. The proverb asserts that every individual lives because of God and his indestructible knowledge of his creation. And man, I have no doubt every last one of us live because of God. He could easily be done. He promised he won't. Not that way. Not by flood. Verse 28. Mercy and truth preserves a king, and by loving kindness he upholds his throne. The glory of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray head. Does gray chins count? That's my question. And verse 30, blows that hurt cleanse away evil, as do stripes the inner depth of the heart. And that wraps up chapter 20. Yeah, the great chins count. Jack, do you want to know about my fundraiser I had yesterday? Yes. Rebecca, let me get through the Ephesians and let's get our armor on, and then we'll you put it in there and then I'll share it. How's that? Let's flip over to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 20, and let's get our armor on. So you type it up in the chat, and then we'll discuss it when we're done with Ephesians here, Rebecca. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on your breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. All right, y'all, that puts our armor on. We're ready to face our day. Today is Sunday. I will get to see my little sister at church to wish her happy birthday. And Dina's made more noise than I think Dina knows she's made. I hope that's all right with you. I can hear it, and I don't have my hearing aids in, but I'm hoping the audio's fine on here. All right, let's see. Rebecca says, let's just do this. I have the funds to get my car fixed. Friends have supported me and made it possible to get the transmission put in my car. That is, Teresa says, you're no bother, Dina. Said it's fine. I love her to death, or I wouldn't put up with it. She knows I know you're kidding. She knows that's a joke too. There's no way I'd lift my hand at her. Never have, never will. No. Rebecca, that's awesome. I'm excited for you. Going to get your transmission put in. Now, you've had the transmission for a little while, right? We've discussed this a little bit before. And what kind of fundraiser was it? I don't know that I knew about it.
She was doing crochet stuff.
Oh, Dina knew. I don't know why my brain doesn't know. I didn't catch it, Rebecca, and I'm sorry. But I'm glad y'all are in here. We bought the transmission last month, but didn't have the funds to have it put in. But we do now. That is awesome. That is fantastic. Listen, I want to challenge you guys to go be a blessing for someone else today. I also want to challenge y'all to go to church. I know that's not much of a challenge. Most people in here are going to be doing that in some form or fashion. And wow, I just got a big old whiff of Dina's vegetable broth and smell celery or something. Anyway, and I'm not a celery fan. But anyway, back to it. It's Sunday. This is the first Sunday that I'm going to get to go to our church in now 6 weeks. We missed 5 weeks in a row. Traveling back home today. Teresa, you be safe on the road. We'll pray for you guys. I was watching a little bit of YouTube last night on the Teresa, I'm sorry for the loss.
Working?
No, the video I was watching, but Teresa's was been up north for a funeral.
Oh.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of YouTube last night on the hurricane, and it is just, I mean, y'all, it's bad. It is worse than anything I have ever seen in my lifetime. Watching a little bit of Justin Rhodes going around and trying to help people in his general area. And our church actually has a team really close to his general area there in North Carolina. I think within just a few miles. But anyway, y'all keep them in your prayers. God bless y'all. Don't forget, just a smile can be a blessing for someone else. And I know you guys blessed me by being in here. So God bless y'all, and we will see you again in the morning. Until then, bye-bye.